Yes, family. Yes, family. Yes, family. Yes, family. Yes. Big Noti gang. Big Noti gang. Shout out to the Noti gang in the building. Got my water on deck. I got my cough drops handy. We're gonna have a phenomenal stream tonight, family. Yes, we're gonna have a phenomenal stream to pretty much go ahead and close out the week. Right, tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is another big news day, family. So we're gonna really talk about all the expectations for possibly tomorrow. We're gonna try to do it without no coughing too. Right? We're gonna do it with no coughing. I'm gonna try my best to try to control my coughs. But we're gonna make it happen, promise you. Yes. We're gonna get started in a minute and 50 seconds, family. A minute and 50, we'll get this thing on the road. Let's get it. I'm about to go get me another Twizzler. Let's go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get this show on the road, family. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to tonight's stream. Once again, super excited. Good night, baby girl. Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all, family. Go ahead and drop your locations in the chat. If you guys are live with me tonight, if you guys can hear my voice, if you guys can see the screen, if you guys can see the calendar, go ahead and drop those locations because we are live right now, family. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? Can I be honest with you guys real quick? Right? Is that all you guys ever want from me is honesty? Let me know in the chats if that's really what you guys want, right? Do you guys want honesty from me? Because I believe that's all I'm trying to give you guys, right? It's straight honesty. So if I'm being honest with y'all, I love being able to come on YouTube and stream for y'all. Like, I'm gonna be honest, family, okay? I've been streaming for the past 4 years. Right when I was a part of IM, I was streaming on Go Live and teaching a lot of people. Right, every single I was doing it literally Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. You know, I was streaming nonstop. But the big difference between streaming over there and streaming here is that I don't have people watching over me. Right, I can do what I want to do. I can vibe out how I want to vibe out. Right, and that's what I really love about this. Right, I feel like now I have a weight lifted off my shoulder because now I don't have to be too political, right? I don't have to watch what I say. I don't have to, nah, man. So I'm really enjoying doing these streams for you guys. I'm really enjoying the past. I started this week, family, right? I started on Tuesday of this week. And for one, I truly enjoyed it. Like, I've actually been having a lot of excitement to come on at 10 p.m. and provide you guys with this type of value. And the thing about it is, family, is that I'm not even worried about how long we actually stream for, right? Because yesterday we went for an hour and a half. We could have went for even longer, right? And that's what I really like about this, right? Because when you're truly having fun, and when you actually have a great audience like y'all, when you have a great community that's also interacting with you, the time absolutely goes by so freaking quickly, right? So an hour and a half, it seemed like we were only on that call for so shorter. And that's the same thing with tonight. We're going to see how long we on here for tonight, right? It really depends on how engaging you guys are. But yeah, I really enjoy this. Like, I really, really, really enjoy this. And I'm excited to be able to be on this platform with you guys. I'm excited to be able to educate, and not just educate, right? But also to continue to learn and improve and become the best version of myself, which in return would also will help you guys out in the long run, right? Because the thing about trading, especially if you want to learn more and more about trading, family, start teaching what you currently know. Right, you become a better trader by actually teaching what you currently know, right? Working with the people that you're around. Because the questions that you guys have for me, the questions that you guys ask, it forces me to really go ahead and find those answers. So I know you guys are very thankful for me jumping on here, and you guys will show mad love and a lot of gratitude, but it goes both ways, baby. This is a two-way street here. Right? Because you guys also keep me on my toes. You guys also force me to go ahead and continue to learn and learn and learn. Because I don't want to be like one of these other people that's on any platform that just be talking a whole lot of nonsense. Naughty. Shh. Right? I don't want to be that, right? I actually want to be in a position where I'm forced to continue learning more, forced to continue grow. Right? Because the more that I learn, the more that I'm able to go ahead and teach to you guys. So I appreciate every single one of y'all. Once again, I'm not sure why I'm just swinging around this Twizzler, right? But it's, we're going to make it happen. Right? So let's see who we got in the building today, family. Drop your locations if you have not done so just yet. I see we got Florida in the house. What's going on, Florida? We got Alabama in the building. Texas, what's up? We got Jersey in the house. ATL, Pittsburgh. We got Trinidad and Tobago in the building. What is going on, family? I appreciate y'all so much. We appreciate you, Abel, protecting you at all costs. That's what's up. I appreciate that. It means a lot. All right, let's see what else we got here. Who we got in the building today. Locked in, pen and pad ready. That's what I love to see. St. Jude, let's get it. Right here with you, boss. I appreciate you, bulletproof. Right, again, hopefully I'm able to provide you guys with some more value, right? I see we got Wally in the building. What's going on, Wally? How are you doing? I hope you never leave YouTube, no cap. You know what's crazy? Like 3 years ago, I was on YouTube heavy. Right? 3 years ago, I was on YouTube providing a lot of value. Just like how I am today, right? Where I was dropping a lot of videos, a lot of content. Right? At one point, this channel had probably like around 50 to 100 videos of just straight content. But ever since I had to go to the platform and I actually decided to partner up with IM, I had to put YouTube on the back burner. And I actually decided to pretty much put all those videos on the back burner with it, right? So that's why I'm excited to be able to come back, because now I'm able to even reach a larger audience, right? I went to IM so that I could really reach a large audience, but, it's always going to be capped, because at the end of the day, people have to pay to be a part of that platform. Here, it's free, right? So I could really tap into such a large audience, right? I could really eventually be at a point, where I'm... Damn, I did not want to cough, but that's the first one, right? But now I'm able to be in a position where eventually I'm going to have thousands of Noti Gang members on this call, right? We're going to have thousands of people on these streams all learning and growing together, right? So that's the goal. And I know for a fact by the end of the summer, we're going to have 1,000+ people on these streams consistently, okay? And I know that for a fact because I already spoke it, right? Y'all want me to get real deep real quick? I got some sauce for y'all, right? It has nothing to do with trading, but it definitely has to do with some motivation, right? Let's talk about the past, the present, and the future real quick, right? Again, this is a little left field, but I need you guys to be with me, right? And for those of you guys that really get this, y'all is about to have an aha moment real quick, Okay? Let's talk about the past, the present, and the future. When people talk about past, present, and future, they say it just like that. Past, present, and future, right? Which, when you say it like that, you look at it as the past comes first, then the present, and then the future, where that's not really how this life works, right? In fact, instead of saying past, present, and future, we really need to start looking at things from a future, present, past perspective, okay? Because the future comes first, then the present, and then the past. So let's break this down real quick, right? Let's break this down real quick. I want y'all to be with me, right? Shout out to everybody tuning in, right? I appreciate every single one of y'all. Let's see. Hey, Naughty Girl. Yeah, shout out to my baby girl, Nadia. She's always super loud over there in the background, though. Right, let's see. You feel better? Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. Like I said, I'm feeling good. It's just normally at nighttime is when for some reason, I start getting a crazy cough. Right, so we got Memphis in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Memphis. I appreciate y'all. We got Ohio, Seattle, Houston, Texas locked in. Tampa, Pittsburgh, Bahamas, Louisiana, Barbados, St. Vincent. Shout out to you guys. All right, again, if you guys actually want to comment in the actual chat, you have to be subscribed. Okay, the only people that are able to comment in the chat are my subscribers, right? So shout out to everybody that's subscribed right now that's able to comment in the chats. But let's break this down real quick, right? Instead of looking at life from a present or from a past, present, future type of perspective, we have to understand, guys, that the future actually comes first. Right now, how does the future come first? Right, the future is actually created through our words, through the things that we say. Okay, before I even started streaming today, or before I started streaming in general, I was speaking about streaming first, right? So I was speaking the future before it actually happened. Right now is the present time because I'm actually streaming, right? But before I started streaming, I was speaking about it first. So the future happens first, then the present, and then when I'm done streaming, then the past comes. Okay? Understand this, family, right? There's some sauce right here. So whenever it is that you want to accomplish in life, it all starts with you speaking it first, right? If you want to become a successful trader, then speak that, right? If you want to make 6, 7, 8 figures through trading, make sure that you're speaking it first. Speak the future, right? Because then eventually, right now is the present time when you're currently working towards that goal. And once you accomplish that goal, now you're already looking at it in the past, right? But it all starts with what we speak right now. It's the future, We need to speak about right now the things that we want to see in the future, because that's what happens first. Right now, I know some of you guys probably think, well, Abel, bro, I've said numerous times that I wanted to do something and it didn't work. Well, guess what? Right? Let's use a hypothetical example, right? Let's say you've been saying for a long time that you wanted to be a successful trader. Okay? And you spoke that into existence. You were speaking that into your future, right? So you already did the first part. And now you're probably thinking, well, Abel, I haven't done it yet. Well, the thing that separates you from where you're currently at to your goal is usually just the time that it takes to get there. Okay? If you decide to eventually give up on this journey, well, guess what? You are also going to be speaking that into existence. Because when somebody decides to give up on trading, or when somebody decides to quit on trading, before they actually decide to quit, they're already thinking it and they're already speaking it. So if you spoke about becoming a successful trader, but then you spoke about you not doing it no more, well, the most current thing that you spoke about is now what's going to show up in the present time. Oh my God. I hope this is making sense, family. Drop some sevens if this is making sense. Right? Because this is key. This is really how life works. Right? That's why for me, I'm constantly speaking the future. I'm constantly speaking what I want to accomplish in life. I don't worry about how long it's going to take me. Right? Because when I start worrying about how long it's going to take me, then you're going to start planting those seeds of doubt into your mind, and that's what we can't do. Right? So speak the future and make sure that whatever you're speaking is whatever you continue to speak until you eventually make that goal occur in the present time. This is some sauce, family. This is some sauce. Right? Once you start understanding this, it's really going to change the game for you. Right? So I want you guys in the chat, family. In the chat. Tell me what you guys want to see in the future occur. What's your goals? Right? What are your goals? Tell me a few of your goals in the chat right now. Right? Because this is key here. Tell me your goals. Let me know. I'm very interested to hear your guys' goals. Right? Because I want you guys to start speaking things into the future. Right? The most powerful thing that we have is our imagination, right? We actually have the ability as human beings to imagine us accomplishing our goals that we set for us. And as long as we use our imagination in the correct way, and we're actually speaking positivity into our goals, and then we actually put the work in, we can't forget about the work, right? Because manifesting a goal, praying about a goal, right, anticipating a goal to come is only gonna actually show if you're actually putting it in the works. Faith without works is what, family? Write that in the chat. Answer that in the chat. Faith without works is what? I know you guys know. Right, let me see what you guys got here. I want generational wealth. Okay. You gotta be more specific though. Right? You gotta be more specific. Right? Whatever your goal is, you have to be extremely specific about that goal. Right? Saying I want generational wealth that's not gonna be enough to keep you motivated. Right? It's a good thought, but you gotta be specific with it. Let's see, full-time trader to gain my time and freedom back. Let's get it. I like that. I've been speaking for a very long time. My only focus, to be honest. Let's go. I am so happy and grateful now that my strong, intimate relationship with God. I am so happy and grateful now that I am self-mastery. Let's go. I love that, Griff. All right, to be able to sustain myself and my family through trading. No more 8 to 4. Let's get it. I like that. To finally become profitable with Forex and be able to bless others. Okay. I really like that. Right, I will have 10,000 USD in my account by December 31st, 2022. That's done, Ashley. Let's get it. It's done. It is done. It is done. Let's see, to have consistency in trading. There we go. Right, to make 6-7 figures and retire my family. I love that, Tina. Let's get it. It's done. Right, making what I currently make at my job through trading so I can have more time and freedom and grow from there. Let's go. Move out and get married. That's going to happen. Travel wherever I want. Full-time day trade. No more 9 to 5. Let's go, Terrence. Right? It's amazing to have these goals. Now you just have to continue putting in the work so that you can get to a point where you actually get to that point. Right? But everything that you guys are saying right now, those goals that you have, you're already predicting the future. Now it's going to be just up to you to put the time in, put the work in, put the energy in that's needed in order for you to actually walk into that goal in the present time. Before I was an educator, before I was doing all these amazing things through trading, I was speaking about doing it first. I was predicting my future. Right? We have the ability to predict our future. Right? Because, and we might get a little spiritual right now, right? It's just me being realistic with y'all, right? But for me, I believe in God, right? I'm a full Christian. I've been Christian my entire life. Like I'm one of those people that used to go to church. I mean, I'm talking about like 4 times a week. I used to go to church when I was younger, right? Because my entire family is just heavy into church, or they used to be a lot heavier than we are now, right? So I used to go every Sunday, every Tuesday for Bible study, and then I'll go Thursday and Friday, right? So I grew up in church, right? So I'm very big in my faith. I'm very big in my belief in God, right? That's just me personally, right? But one thing that I also know is that God can do anything, right? All things are possible through God. But you also have to understand, family, that God has created us in his image as well. Like, really think about that. Okay, if we believe that all things are possible through Christ, and we were created in his image, then that means that all things are possible for us as well. We just have to believe it. We just have to believe it, right? One of my mentors, right? One of my friends in this trading game, right? He said something to me a while ago that really changed the game for me, right? Listen to this, family. Listen to this, right? Listen to this. Mattress and blanket in the church. I'm telling you, I was one of those, right? I got like 4 pastors, like 4 of my uncles are pastors. Right, like my dad is one of 12, so I have a huge family, right? I have 100+ cousins, right? And we was all in that church together, right? But listen to this, right? My friend, a good friend that I actually know, right? One of my mentors that I actually started trading with, like back in 2015, 2016. This dude already became a millionaire, right, in this game. But what he said to me a while ago really changed the perspective. Right? Because he had told me a while ago, he's like, yo, Abel, bro, making 7 figures was the easiest thing I ever did. But believing that he can actually do it was the hard part. My God, can I get an amen in the chat, family? Right? Can I get an amen in the chat? Like, really think about that, right? He said making 7 figures was the easiest thing that he ever did. But believing that he could do it was the hard part. Oh my God. And that's the big thing that all of us go through, right? We know it's possible because we're around certain individuals. We see people on social media. We see what's possible. But because of our circumstances, because of how we were raised, because of where we come from, right? We're pretty much dealing with so much limiting beliefs, right? Where we don't believe in ourselves as much as we really should. But once you get to that point where you fully believe in yourself, anything is possible. Right? Again, if all things are possible through Christ, and we were created in his image, then that also means that we can accomplish any single thing that we want. But we have to start believing it first, family. Oh, man. This is what I'm talking about, family. Right? Success, in my opinion, success is really spiritual. It's 90% spiritual. Right? It's all about your faith and belief in this entire process. Right? That's really what it comes down to, right? How strong is your faith and your belief? Why? Because your income level is never going to surpass your belief level. Oh my God, that's another. You guys can tell I'm probably feeling better today. Right? You guys can tell that I'm feeling better today, right? Listen to that, what I just said. Your income level will never surpass your belief level. Drop that in the chat. Write it on your notepad. Keep it stored with you somewhere. Because that's a gem. Right? I gotta say that one more time. Your income level will never surpass your belief level. And that's a fact. That is a fact. So if you want your income level to go higher, you gotta start believing more. Right? You gotta have bigger belief. Higher belief levels. Start understanding that you can accomplish anything. Even trading. Trading is one of the most difficult things out there to do. All right, a lot of people won't tell you this, right? Because a lot of people is trying to sell you on a course here, sell you on a mentorship here. But trading is extremely, extremely difficult. Like, I'm talking about extremely, extremely difficult. Right? What's the stats, family? Right? How many people, like, what's the stats in terms of percentages? How many people truly succeed long term in trading? What do they say out there, right? There's a whole bunch of different statistics. Right? People say different numbers, but what do you guys hear? Let me know in the chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get into looking at the charts, right? Because I can go on all night talking about all this mindset and motivation. Like, that's really something I'm passionate about, just really talking that good stuff, right? Because I literally listen to podcasts all freaking day. Like, I literally listen to podcasts every single day, various topics, mainly it's entrepreneurship and mindset and things like that. Right, so I could talk about this stuff all day, right? But let's really be honest right here. Trading is extremely difficult. Like, it's extremely difficult no matter what anybody tries to tell you. Okay, they say, right? Let's see what you guys got. 12%, right? 4%, 5%, 93%. Yup, traders fail. 99% lose 100% of their investment in 90 days. Yup. 5%, maybe 1%. Right, so the numbers that obviously, like I said, I don't really know what the actual numbers are, but they say most of the time, right, 5 to 10% of people, and 10% is a high number, actually succeed in this, which means 90%, 90+% of people that attempt to do this are going to not succeed. And that's just a fact. 90% of traders that try to do this for a living won't end up succeeding. So really understand that. And I'm not saying this guy to try to discourage anybody. That's never what I'm trying to do, right? It's never about discouraging nobody. But it's being realistic with you guys, right? If you really want this to work, then you really got to put in the work. If you want this to work, you have to put in the work. Okay? And when I'm talking about putting in the work, guys, I'm talking about actually coming every single day to learn as much as possible without no time limit on how fast you need this to actually work. Because that's a big downfall that a lot of traders have. They give themselves a time limit for when this has to make sense or for when this actually has to work. And the moment that you give yourself a time limit, you already planted that seed of doubt in your mind. And it's so much easier to say, you know what, I'm giving up on this than it is to say, you know what, I'm going to keep pushing through the hard times. It's easier to give up, right? Giving up is easy. That's why 90% of people give up, because that's the easy route. But you guys are different. You guys are minority gang, right? You guys are different. I'm different. You're different, right? And we're not giving up, right? I need you guys to say that. I will not give up in the chat. I will not give up in the chat. Let me hear that in the chat. Let me see that in the chat. Let me hear that in the chat. I will not give up. Even if it takes me 5 years, I will not give up. Even if it takes me 10 years, I will not give up. Even if it takes me 15 years to learn a skill set that I will have for the rest of my life, I will not give up. Let me hear that in the chat. Right now, again, if you cannot comment on the video, it's because you have to be subscribed. Make sure to subscribe, right? And it definitely just helps me out, and I appreciate every single one of y'all that do. All right, let's also get these likes up as well, family, as well. Right, drop the likes up. Smash the like button for me. Right, it'll just help this video, help because of the algorithm, right? YouTube's algorithm is crazy, right? They want to see an engaging video in order for them to go ahead and spread it out to the masses, right? So go ahead and like this video. Make sure to be subscribed if you want to interact with the comments, right? We're going to go ahead and make this thing work. All right, let's see. I would not give up. If I give up, what else could I do? Nothing. Exactly. All right, this skill set is my exit strategy. I love that. Right, I love that. Failure is not an option. I love that, family. So let's go ahead and take a look at the markets now, right? Because like I told you guys at the beginning of the week, if you guys watch my Sunday weekly video, right, where every Sunday, guys, I drop a video just pretty much going over the news and giving you guys my outlooks for the week. I told you guys it was going to be a crazy week. Today we actually had, excuse me, a lot of pound news, right, with the official bank rate vote. They also went up a full percent, right, in their interest rates. Okay, something to really keep in mind of. All right, now going into tomorrow, right, we have a major news event happening in the morning, right, with the non-farm employment change and the unemployment rate for the US dollar, and we also have it for the Canadian dollar. Okay, this is what I consider tier 1 data, right, that is going to affect these markets. Okay, so at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have to be aware that major news is going to drop. In fact, I actually might want to trade that with you guys, right? Would you guys like to trade a non-farm employment change, right? Previously known as NFP, non-farm payroll. Would you guys want to trade that live together? Or at least watch it live together? Would that be dope? Because I think I actually want to start watching a lot of these news releases with you guys live, right? So that we can see the reaction and pretty much go from there. Would you guys enjoy that? That would be fire, right? Perfect. All right, let's see if I can wake up early enough, right? Normally I am awake, right? But we'll see, right? I feel like that would be fire. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, right? 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning, right? I might actually go ahead and start this stream, and we can go ahead and watch it together, right? And see how the market reacts from there and see if there's anything that we can take advantage of. Right, but that's something that we have to be aware of. Now, look at the actual data that we have here. Okay, last month we had 431,000 people that were employed. For this next month, right, which this news release happens every single month. The first Friday of every single month is when non-farm employment change happens. They are actually predicting a decrease in employed people. Okay, so less people are employed from the previous month going into this new month. Now, if you're a part of my Telegram, we actually spoke about this in my Telegram. All right, I dropped a gem on you guys in my Telegram. Right, speaking about since now interest rates are going higher, a lot less spending is going to occur, which means there's going to be a lot less profit for these businesses, right? And when the profits are not the same, businesses have to try to combat that in a way that a business will mitigate, right, the fact that there's less money coming in is that they have to actually go ahead and start firing people. So this is not a surprise for me, right? In fact, I would not be surprised if we continue to see less unemployment going higher, right? But less people being employed moving forward, just because interest rates are going up. Interest rates going up is really going to affect everybody overall, right? It's going to affect, guys, the profit margins for a lot of these businesses. So again, a lot of businesses, they can't afford to keep certain people on board if they're not making as much money. So again, this is something that we have to keep in mind. Right now, the rumor is that it's going to come out less than the previous month. Now, if the number comes out less than the previous month, is that positive or is that negative for the economy? Let me know in the chats. Right? Let me know in the chats, guys. Right? This is key. Right? If the number comes out less, if there's less people employed from the previous month, is that good or bad for the economy? Abel, please and shout out to you, Phil. I see you in the chats. Yeah, negative. Right? Negative, right? Negative for the economy. Okay? If that's negative for the economy, what could we expect potentially the US dollar to do? Right now, this is a tricky question here. Right? How you know that's the rumor? Because right here it says forecast, right? This is the forecast. This isn't the actual number, right? We'll get the actual facts once it gets released at 8:30, right? But we're looking at the forecasted number, right? The projections. Projections are rumors, right? So what do you think can happen to the US dollar? Now, again, we have to understand, guys, the difference between the actual dollar itself, the currency that's attached to the economy, and the equities markets that investors are typically pretty much investing into, right? Based off the strength or weakness of an economy, right? Because this is very, very confusing, right? Even for me, I was extremely confused for a while on how this works, okay? But whenever we have bad data, when we have an economy that might be going weaker, what does that cause people to typically do? Right? A weaker economy causes people to want to hoard cash. Right? Listen to this, family. Right? A weaker economy causes people to do less spending and sit on cash. Think about supply and demand now. Right? If there's less cash now in circulation, less of the supply available, because there is a weak economy and people are now just hoarding cash, what would typically happen? Answer the question now. Like I said, this is that, family. This is that real sauce right here, right? This is that sauce that you're not gonna get nowhere else. Right? I'm pretty sure there's other YouTubers out there that speak like this, but I haven't found any. All right, really think about this. Okay, a weak economy is gonna cause less spending to occur. When there's less spending occurring, that means the demand goes higher for the currency itself. Yep. We have to think about it again, and it is confusing, right? Because normally when you think about a weak economy, you're thinking about a weak currency. When you think about a weak economy, you typically correlate that with a weak currency. Okay? And normally, it's honestly the opposite of that. Understand that, right? Is this making sense? Is this making sense, family? Right? Normally, and I used to do the same thing, when we have data that's stating a weak economy, that typically leads, or what most people think is that a weak economy leads to a weak currency. But a weak economy is actually leading to a weak equities market, right? Stock market, bond market, so and so, whatever. Right? So we have to be able to differentiate the two. A weak economy, and again, this is just my opinion based off what I've been learning, right? And based off just me and just trading this way for the past few years. A weak economy can actually lead to a stronger currency. Because now, since the economy is weak, people are less inclined to spend money. I mean, let's look at the official, the interest rate decision, right? Look at the U.S. dollar, guys, right? When interest rates went higher, okay, typically interest rates are going higher to try to weaken an economy. That's why interest rates are there. It's just a tool that they use, right, to be able to tighten up monetary policy, right? So interest rates going up is typically done to weaken the economy. Let's take a look at the dollar itself now, right? Let's see what the dollar has actually done ever since the news release, right? Ever since we actually had that data come out. Look at this. Excuse me. All right, look at this real quick. This is that sauce, family, I promise y'all. Right, so we had news that came out yesterday. Okay, and we had an initial bearish sell-off during news yesterday. All right, we had an initial bearish sell-off during news, which was most likely done just to capture some type of liquidity, right? Just to liquidate some type of, liquidate the markets. But then look at the rebound that we've seen immediately. Okay, we had data stating that there is a possible weaker economy coming, and we had an instant negative reaction to it, but it immediately rebounded, and we actually ended up closing today engulfing the daily candle that was caused by interest rates. All right, so this is a great example, right? Look at what we're seeing here, right? Interest rates going up is done to try to weaken the economy, to try to control inflation. We had an initial bearish, and again, this actually surprised me a little bit. I actually wanted to just see that thing flying, but it all makes sense, right? Certain times news can also be, an excuse to go ahead and liquidate these markets. So we had an initial sell-off, but this thing completely rebounded and started flying. All right, so the dollar actually ended up actually going bullish based off that weaker news, quote unquote, right? So looking at tomorrow, similar concept. All right, if again we have less people employed, that's looked at as weak, there is a possibility for the market to either just fly off of that news, okay, fly, or we could see an initial spike back down like we've seen with this reaction to go ahead and liquidate some more before we see that continuation. Is this making sense, family? Let me know in the chat. So if this is making sense, let me know. Drop some sevens in the chat, right? I really like just make sure that there's clarity across the board. All right, I really like making sure there's clarity across the board, because like I said, the fundamental aspect of trading, that's usually the tough part, right? Because it's very hard to find traders and educators that actually know how to talk about this stuff. Right now, I'm not saying I'm the best whatsoever, right? Because I know I'm not the best, but I've been putting in a lot of work my damn self to really get good at this, right? And to really understand it to a way where I can actually go ahead and teach it to you guys with some confidence. All right, let's see, that was actually a P zone. Yeah, right? Shout out to the P zone. All right, so when the news tells us about weaknesses goes up, right? Typically, it will eventually go up. Right, it will eventually go up, right? It doesn't initially have to after the news, like it could, right? The news can absolutely just send it flying, right? But it doesn't initially have to, right? We could see either a sell-off just to try to capture liquidity or whatever the case may be before we continue. But always keep the long-term perspective in mind, right? So even, excuse me, even if, oh man, damn, now they're trying to mess with me. Look at this. Right, so even if news tomorrow, right, actually spikes us down for whatever reason, right, if news tomorrow ends up selling the dollar to the downside, I truly believe that that's going to be short-lived. Okay, I'm believing that if we do sell off during news tomorrow, that it is going to be short-lived. I could be wrong, by the way, right, I could be wrong. But that's what I'm leaning towards right now, right? So if we did sell off, I believe that's going to be short-lived. Then I see us actually continuing, at least ending the day pretty bullish. Okay? So that's my general opinion. All right, let's see what else we got here. So are you saying this in general? NFP, less people employed, less spending, hoarding the dollar, creates demand. Exactly. That's exactly how we want to look at it, Latanya. Exactly. Right? Less people employed. Again, looked at as bad for the economy. Right? So there overall will be less spending because now people are going to want to hoard their money. Right? Which means there's going to be less supply. So the demand is going to increase. And that's across the board for pretty much all the currencies, guys, right? It pretty much works the same way. Understanding supply and demand from that standpoint is excuse me, is extremely crucial. Right? But yeah, that's exactly how you want to look at it. Again, that's thinking outside the box. Right? But yeah, guys, look at this, right? The dollar absolutely rebounded and went on fire. Right? Now, right, we are at a very interesting point right now for the dollar itself. You know, we're retesting this level of resistance right here. You know, we actually had price break out of this little channel, right, that I had created. We retested the channel, and there is a possibility, like I said, there is a possibility for price just to absolutely start flying from these areas, right? That possibility is there, right? That's a real thing, right? Price could very well just continue going to the upside, all right? And if it happens, it happens. But price can also possibly come back down. Okay, and this is why it's very important just to learn how to read and react to price. Okay, read and react. There's always a chance for price to pull back down as well, come back down to this 102,800 level, retest that before we see a potential move higher. Okay, there's two potential plays here. All right, so during the news, if for whatever reason we spike down, that's an opportunity to position yourself for some long-term buys for the dollar. If we get a negative reaction in the dollar off of news, prepare yourself to try to buy the dollar once it gets to a certain level. Okay? So that's key there, right? It's going to be very interesting to see. Now let's actually go to take a look at, you know, a bunch of the pairs that we actually talked about yesterday. Right, one of them, you know, we got to bring up gold. Right, gold was absolutely phenomenal. Right, shout out to every single one of y'all that was on the call because y'all seen gold do exactly what we expected it to, family. Right, so yesterday we were talking about gold, and what did we say about gold yesterday? Right, I told you guys that I expected gold to possibly sell off. Right, when we were looking at gold yesterday, it wasn't even up at this level yet, like at all. Right, it wasn't up at this 1900 level, right? It was like remember I said, what was the numbers I said yesterday, right? I know some of y'all probably wrote it down. Yesterday we were talking about 1907, 1906, 1905, 1908 areas, right? And I told you guys I wanted to see price come up to this level right here around 1905, 1906, and then give us a bearish reaction. And a big reason for that is just because I want to see price for gold come all the way down to this 1830s, 1840s level, right? I could see more selling pressure for gold, right? In my opinion, right? I was seeing more selling pressure, more downside pressure for it, right? And the reason why I was looking at this 1905, 1906 level, okay, was because I was using previous history, previous price action to help me determine that. Right, again, keep trading simple, guys. Use previous history to help you predict future price action. Right, if we look at this level, we had price act as resistance, broke through it, act as support, broke through it, act as resistance. Okay, and another reason why I was also looking at the continuation lower is because I'm reading structure. Right, look at this. We had a lower low, lower high, lower low. We did have a higher high, which was very interesting. This higher, oh my God, this higher high was very interesting, right? Off of that higher high, I was actually expecting more of a bullish continuation, right, off of a retest of this 1888 level. I actually did take some buys and I got smacked. Right? Like I actually did take some buys off this 1888, 1890 level, right, last week because I seen the higher high created, so I wanted to follow market structure higher. And I got absolutely smacked around, right, trading gold. But what I did get was also more data that helped me predict this move here. Right? Because once we created this higher high and then we ended up going from a higher high to a lower low, that shows a massive shift in momentum to the downside. So then all we needed to look now was for the next lower high to then possibly look for the next lower low. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Right? So that's exactly why we were looking for that reaction for gold. Right? It was because now I'm looking at bearish structure. We created a lower low after a higher high straight to a lower low. That's a massive change in momentum. Higher high to a lower low is a massive shift in momentum. So all we had to do was wait for price to come back up, retest a previous level of structure, and this thing collapsed. I mean, this thing guys, we're talking about, this is a big boy move right here. Right? This is a 350 pip drop. Right? A 350 pip drop that we called out yesterday. 350 pips. That's beautiful. Right? 50 pips a day could keep the job away, but when you're getting 350 pips, shit, you lit. Right? You good. Right now it's just a matter of seeing what gold wants to do next. All right, let's see. Gold going up. Right now it looks like it could possibly go up. Right? It is possible. But what I'm looking at now for gold personally, and this is just me, right? I actually think we are possibly going to go up. But I'm really interested in looking for some more selling pressure to come into play around this 1890 level. Right? Because again, I really want to see price eventually reach this 1840, 1835 range. Right? And a big reason why I just want to see that is because that's a monthly order block that I feel like needs to be tested. Right? I think that there's just a lot more momentum coming in to the downside. Right? So yeah, we could see some bullishness come in right now. But that 1890 level, that's really where I'm going to be looking for my next selling opportunity for gold. Right? The specific number is going to be around, I would say maybe around 1893. Right? 1893, 1894 is really where I'll be looking at it. Right? And the reason why I'm predicting this level right here now is I'm not just making these levels up. I'm using previous levels of structure. Right? So I'm looking to the left. I see we have all types of supports being created over here. All types of supports. Okay, then price, again, more supports. More supports. Okay, price then eventually acted as a little bit of resistance here. Acting as more support. Right? So now there's a possibility for it to come in and act as resistance at this key level. Right? We also have confluence with the 50 period moving average as well. All right, so for tonight, that's where I'm going to be expecting gold, or that's where I would like, right? Again, I really don't like saying expecting, right? Because if it doesn't happen and people get all messed up, right? But I would like to see, right? There's a possibility, I believe, that we could see another bearish reaction off of this 1893, 1894 level to continue to the downside. Just my opinion, right? I think we have a lot of liquidity probably going to be built up below these levels that might want to go ahead and get tested and collected, right? Tested and collected. Okay, tested and collected. That's what I'm thinking, right? That's where I'm leaning towards, right? So anybody that loves gold out there that's trading gold, that's where I will be looking for. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. I have my entry at 1910. Yeah, it just missed 1910. Let's see. Can you look for gold to go up while also expecting the dollar to be bullish? Yeah, you definitely can. Right, that's actually a very good question, TW. Right, TW Baker. Because when I really look at the markets, I really do use correlations to my advantage. Right, that's why I analyze the dollar itself tremendously. Right now, the big reason why the dollar is, or why gold is a little bit different compared to other currencies is because gold is a beast all by itself, right? That's a commodity, a very important commodity that's utilized everywhere, right? Like gold is a big deal. And the reason why gold and the dollar could both go up is because both of them are extremely valuable. But the reason why the dollar can go up and gold can go up is because we have to understand, right, the state of the economy right now, right? There's a lot of chaos in the world. There's a lot of chaos all over the place, right? And gold benefits the most during times of chaos, right? We have certain safe havens, guys, that benefit tremendously during times of chaos, right? And gold and the dollar are two safe havens that benefit during times of chaos. But gold even more so when we have global chaos, which is what we have, right? We have a lot of global chaos occurring with inflation, supply chain issues. This whole situation with Russia and Ukraine is definitely playing a big part right now, which is probably going to cause even more strain on supply chain issues, right? Believe it or not, COVID is still a thing. COVID is still here. It's not even COVID-19 at this point, right? We've been dealing with COVID for the past 2-3 years, so it has to go up, right? It's COVID-21 now, right? So we're dealing with a lot of chaos, right? So when there's a lot of chaos in the marketplace, gold benefits, right? So yeah, the dollar can go up, but gold can also go up and just be quote unquote stronger than the dollar because people are flocking to gold during times of chaos. Let's see. We gotta change that. 50 pips a day keeps power. Some people love their jobs. They do. You're 100% right about that. Right? You're 100% right about that. Let's see. I'll look on sales for gold until we get down to 1817. Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible, right? To even go lower than the 1830 that I'm looking for, right? It's definitely possible. But this is the play that we're gonna be looking at going into tonight, family, right? If we're able to see price pull back up to this 1894 levels, then I will be looking for more continuations. All right, so let's take a look at a few other ones, right? So last night, I actually got clapped on. It wasn't even a clap, right? I got stopped out at break even here on GJ, right? And GJ was another one, guys, that we were looking at pretty much yesterday, and it kind of got to the areas that I was initially expecting, but it also went a little bit lower than I really wanted it to, right? We're still in pretty much a very good level here, though, for GJ. I think GJ is actually primed to really continue going bullish. Like now, especially since we dropped this low, I would not be surprised to see GJ really start to go into the upside from these levels, right? But yesterday, guys, what did I tell y'all yesterday, right? Yesterday, I was looking for a buy opportunity, right, off a retest of what, this 16220, this 162,200 level, right? Because I seen price come to this support, right? We spiked below the support, and we seen an initial reaction off of that support, right, which broke structure. Okay, so on the retest, I actually had a buy set up right here. Okay, right at this level, the 162,300 is where I had my entry. 162,300 is where I had my entry. Okay, and price did give us a pretty strong reaction, right? Off of that 162,300, we actually went up around 60 pips, 70 pips in profit, right? So I was able to go break even right before I went to bed, but by the time I woke up in the morning, this thing absolutely just tanked, right? So I ended up getting stopped out at break even for GJ. Although we were up around 70 pips of profit, which again is a beautiful, beautiful move. I just wanted to see it continue going higher. But this thing just, again, based off interest rates, it did very similar to how the US dollar reacted off interest rates, right? It actually collapsed when interest rates came out. When the pound itself, interest rates came out at 1%, this thing just tanked, right? And it did actually clap me at break even. It is what it is. But now we actually came back down to the other level of structure. I really wanted to see it pause around here, right? This 161,300. But we went even lower, right? We went even lower, guys, and that's fine. It is what it is, right? But like I said, now I would not be surprised at all if we do experience some more bullish pressure now to come into play for GJ. Like me personally, I will be going into this night looking for some type of buy opportunity on the pound yen. Okay, that's me. Right? That's what I'm looking for, right? I can't tell you guys what to do. All right, everybody gonna look at the market their way, but I'm very interested in looking for some bullish scenarios here for the pound yen. Let's see what we got here. Right, daily structured bears gold. Yeah, generally, how far back in the charts do you look for clues when looking at points of interest? That's a great question, right? I look as far back as I need to. Right, I look as far back as I need to. Right, I'll go to the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly. Sometimes I even go to the monthly. Right, I just go back to see relevant. Right, you do want to have relevant levels of structure. Right, but I'll go back as far as I need to really find some real levels of structure that makes some type of sense. Right, and it could be, like I said, it could be all different types of time frames. All right, so going into tonight though, GJ, I would be looking to buy this thing. All right, I'm a big fan of buying GJ going into tonight. So what can we look for? Right, what can we look for? What can we see? Right, well, we have this entire range down here, guys. Right, if for whatever reason, okay, we are in, Asian session, about to go into London session in a few hours. So we could start to see price really make some moves soon, right? I mean, even right now, price is, possible to really go ahead and break these highs. But what I want to see is if we're able to come back down, right, and possibly retest around this 161 level, right, that could be an opportunity to look for some buys and then go ahead and try to ride this thing higher. Right, but I'm expecting some bullishness overnight for the pound yen. Okay, remember, interest rates went up for the pound. Okay, yeah, we had an initial negative reaction, but it could do what the dollar just did. Remember, the US dollar also raised rates. It had an initial bearish reaction, but then it initially came all the way back up and completely erased that sell-off that happened. So do not be surprised if the pound yen does a similar thing, where by the morning time or even going throughout tomorrow, we actually erase this entire sell-off that actually happened. Okay, just keep that in mind, family, right? That's what I'm leaning towards. That's what I believe is possibly going to happen here for the pound yen. So I will be looking for buys all day long on pound yen. Again, if we're able to see price come back down to this 161-100 level, then that could be a good opportunity to really go ahead and start buying. If price actually says, nope, we're just going to go ahead and start buying now, and we break above this 161.45 level, 161.500, let that happen. If you're able to catch a retest, then that can also be an opportunity. All right, now if price ends up just tanking for whatever reason, again, like I say, and I'm going to always continue saying this, we have to focus on what we can control. We can't control what the market ends up doing, right? So if price ends up tanking and we end up taking some losses, it is what it is. Charge it to the game, use it as tuition, and then go ahead and just figure out, or just let it go, right? And then we'll figure out what we can do later on. All right, but always, guys, focus on what we can control. We can't control what price eventually ends up doing. Right, I initially wanted to see a bullish reaction off interest rates, but this thing absolutely tanked. Okay, so we can't control that. We don't control where price eventually goes. Right, that's out of our control. So we can't focus on that. We can't get upset about what price ends up doing. That is not up to us to get upset about. Now, if you didn't follow your rules and you took a loss while price doing something, then yeah, you need to be upset at yourself for not being disciplined. All right, remember, discipline is important. But if you followed all of your rules, you practice proper risk management, you use good money management skills, and you took a loss, then it is what it is. It's a part of the game. You're a trader, right? As a trader, when we are trading, there's always going to be risk involved. Whenever there is a potential for risk, there's always going to be a potential for loss. And that's just the reality, right? So always control what we can control, which is what we're risking, the strategy that we're trading. We're able to control our emotions. We're able to control our manage our discipline, right? We can control those aspects, but we can't control what price eventually ends up doing. All right, I hope that makes sense, family. All right, so let's see what else we got here. If GBP increases rates, base pound pairs drop. If GBP decreases rates, base pound pairs increase. I mean, we just seen them increase rates, and we had an initial sell-off immediately, right? But I think this sell-off was more so just to capture liquidity because this market is liquidity driven, right? The rumor has that interest rates are going to go up for a while now, right? That's been the rumors for a while, right? That interest rates were going up, right? So price was, the fact that that was the rumor for a while, price was already priced in, right? Like all that, all of that's already priced in, right? That's why you want to trade the rumor way before the facts come out, right? But this right here was more so just pretty much liquidating everybody that was trying to trade the rumors right before the facts came out, right? The market is going to do things like this to liquidate all the rookies out the game. But now I believe we're probably going to end up rebounding and going back to the upside. So typically a raise in interest rates will benefit the currency. That will make the currency stronger. That's why I'm bullish the pound yen. I'm bullish the pound overall, but that's why I'm bullish pound yen for sure, right? Because of that reason. Interest rates go up, that causes less spending to occur, more hoarding of that currency, which means less of the supply is available, which will cause the demand for it to go up. And when demand is high, the currency will gain value from that. Okay. Let's see. Do you set pending orders or alerts? I don't ever hear them during London and find I'm better with setting it up before bed. Yeah, no, you definitely can, right? I typically do use, especially if I ended up becoming very sleepy before, a move happens. Yeah, I'll set the pending order. In fact, a lot of my trades, guys, I'll say probably like half of my trades that I take are usually by pending orders, right? Because I normally am sleeping by London session, right? By 3 a.m. Eastern, right? 3 a.m. Eastern is London session over here on the East Coast. Right, I'm usually sleeping by then, right? I actually like my sleep. Like, I like getting a good 6-7 hours of sleep every single night, right? I love that. So, yeah, typically, if I'm not awake during the time it actually happens, I'm setting that pending order and I'm going to sleep and I'm dealing with the consequences in the morning, right? That's the thing, guys, right? Whatever we do, you have to be comfortable with the consequences. Whether they're good or bad consequences, I will deal with it. So, if I wake up to an L, like I woke up this morning to that stop loss getting hit at break even, it is what it is, right? I deal with that and I move past it. But yeah, I'm very comfortable using pending orders. Let's see. So if the dollar is weaker or stronger, what happens to the currency pair with, let's say, USD CAD, right? That's a good question, right? So let's use basic correlations real quick, right? So we're gonna talk about bullish dollar, which is what I believe is probably gonna happen, and which is what we've been calling for a while now, right? So if we typically have a bullish USD, right? And we have a currency pair that ends in USD. Family, who knows the answer to this? Go ahead and answer this in the chat, right? I know a lot of y'all already know the answer to this, especially if you've been watching me long enough on Go Live or wherever. You guys know I talk about this all the time, right? But if we have a bullish dollar and there's a currency that ends in USD where the currency is the second or the US dollar is the second currency in the pair, what should we expect price to do? Right? And what should we expect price to do if it also begins in USD? Right? Shout out to you, Evangelica. Right? Yeah. So if it ends in USD, then we will expect these currencies to go down in value. Right? If it begins in USD, then we will expect these currencies to go up. Okay, that's very basic correlations. Hey, where is it? Let's see. Is that white? It is white. Right, that's very basic correlations 101. Okay, that is correlations 101, right? And it's good to look at the dollar because the dollar is the currency reserve of the world. Right, guys, like the dollar makes up majority of the transactions that occur in the Forex market. Like, I don't know exactly the number, but it's around 70% of the transactions occurs in US dollar, right? Which is why I look at the dollar a lot. Right, I want to make sure I understand what the dollar is doing across the board because that gives me a good idea of what can happen against all the currencies. Okay, does the dollar affect the yen? Yeah, I mean the dollar affects everything. Right, everything is affected by the U.S. dollar, but it also it also depends on what's really happening from these economies. right? It really depends on the strength and weaknesses of these economies as well, right? So let's take a look at UJ real quick, right? Now that you bring that up, right? Let's see what UJ's doing. Again, I am bullish pound yen, right? Keep that in mind. I'm looking for some buys on GJ tonight, right? But let's look at the dollar index, or not the dollar index, but USD JPY, right? USD JPY is bullish. We have been seeing a lot of bullish pressure for UJ for a while now, right? We have been seeing it because the dollar has been stronger, right? The dollar has been extremely strong, especially against the yen, right? Because the yen itself, guys, is still dealing with, from a fundamentals perspective, the yen is still dealing with negative interest rates, right? So foreign investors are more inclined to invest in the U.S. as opposed to Japan, because you'll get more for your money, right? If the U.S. is now giving 1% back on all the money that we have in our savings account, right? Let's use this, right? Compared to the Japanese, or to Japan, where they're giving you negative returns on your money, you're more inclined to go with the U.S. because you're actually going to make some more money on that, right? So not only have we just been extremely bullish the dollar, and from a technical standpoint, we have been extremely bullish, but even from a fundamental standpoint, we're just extremely bullish the yen, right? So I'm going to be looking for tonight more opportunities. I will be looking for opportunities to continue buying UJ. Okay, let's see what we have here. I'm going to mark off a few levels, right? Just a few levels that I will be interested in looking at. Right, so this level right here, guys, that we're pretty much, about to come into, right? Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame real quick. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let my computer load. Right, shout out to every single one of y'all. Again, family, please like the video if you guys have not liked the video just yet. It definitely helps out with the algorithm for YouTube. Right, the more likes, the more this video goes out to other people, the more other people will be able to find my channel, and the more views we will get. Right, the more views we will get, the more excited I continue to get about doing this with y'all. All right, so definitely go ahead and like the video if you guys haven't just yet. I definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all so much for that. All right, but let's see what we got here, guys. So again, looking at UJ, all right, tonight, I would love to see how we play off of either this 13400 level, right? I'll be probably looking for some buys off that 13400, or if we can go ahead and look for some buys off of 130. I mean, it's only a 10 pip difference, right? It's not too much of a difference, but yeah, one of these levels is where I will be looking for more bullishness, right, to come in for UJ and just to continue buying this thing up. Right, my initial thoughts is probably this 13400 level, right? It will be interesting to see us come down to there, utilize that as support, and continue going higher, right? There is a chance that we even go to this 13300 level, but either way, I'm expecting more bullishness to come in. All right, I'm expecting more bullishness to come in, right? Very simple, right? We're not going to overcomplicate it, right? We're bullish the dollar, right? From a technical standpoint, we're bullish the dollar from a fundamental standpoint. So now it's all about aligning our technicals with what we're saying from a fundamental. Remember, for me, I think from a fundamental standpoint first, and then I align my technicals with what my fundamentals is saying. Or, yeah, right? Whereas most other traders that you're going to find on YouTube or whatever you guys go through, everybody else that you're going to come across is going to be looking from just strictly technical perspective, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. You can be profitable looking at just technicals, but you're making it that much harder for yourself. Okay, when you really understand fundamentals and you're able to put two and two together, right? Now you're going to really create some solid biases, right? And really find some solid opportunities. I hope that makes sense. Right, let's see, but AU looks so good. Let's go take a look at AU real quick. All right, let's go take a look at AU next, right? So that's what I'm looking at for UJ, guys, right? I want to see prices come down, maybe 13400 or 13300, and look for some buys off that. Right now, AUD USD, right, is setting up nicely, right? Again, remember, the USD is the second currency in the pair, right? So if correlation is going to stand true, then we could be looking for some more downside pressure for AUD USD. Right now, we're looking at this thing from the daily perspective. Right, previous 2 days were very interesting. We had a massive bull candle. Right, that was very interesting. But yesterday's candle actually ended up closing extremely bearish. Right now, that massive bull candle was also because of, was it because of interest rates? I believe that was because of interest rates. Right, yeah. So we had this massive move to the upside, right, because the U.S. interest rates release that came out, right, big push up. But look, it did not sustain. Itself, right? And we initially came all the way back down and shifted. So I will be looking for some sell side pressure here, guys, for AUD USD. I want to sell this personally. Right? Where can we sell from? Well, let's use previous levels of structure. Right? Identify key levels real quick. Right? Identify key levels where we can see a possible reaction from. Right? Look at this. Okay? I would love to see if price can come up to this 0.7150 level, right? Up here is pretty lit. If we can get up to this level right here, which we're not that far, right? If we can get up to 0.715, I would sell that all day long. All right, that's just me personally. All right, again, I can't tell you guys what you guys do. I can't tell you guys how you guys think about this. I'm telling you guys what I would personally do. Right now, this is never financial advice, by the way. I gotta throw that disclaimer out there. This is not financial advice telling you guys what to do. This is just me giving you guys my general opinion on what I believe can actually happen. Okay, but this is not financial advice, right? I need to have that somewhere on the stream, right, just to protect myself. Right, but yeah, I would love to see price if we're able to come back. I mean, we don't have to, right? We're at a key level right now as well. But if we're able to come up to that 0.71, 0.76, then yeah, I really like some more sell-off, some more selling pressure to come in for AUD USD. Right, I'm just really thinking we're going to continue selling off for this for sure. Right, so I'll be looking for selling opportunities for AUD USD. Right, and again, this is extremely easy for me to identify. Right, and the reason why it's extremely easy for me to identify is because I'm thinking from a fundamental standpoint first. I'm bullish fundamentally, and I'm also thinking from a technical standpoint, right? I know the dollar is gaining strength, or at least I believe the dollar is going to gain strength. The dollar is the currency reserve of the world, so it holds the most weight. It's the granddaddy of all currencies. So as long as the dollar continues to go higher, then there is a possibility for the Australian dollar to be weaker against the US dollar. Right now, just to talk about this as well, right? And again, this is next level information that most people are not aware of, right? And most traders or educators on YouTube are not talking about it. And I don't want to sound like I'm always talking shit about people on YouTube, but it's just a fact. I'm on YouTube all the time, right? And I just see a lot of nonsense being talked about, you know, in this game. And again, I'm not saying I'm the best, because I'm not the best by far, but I've put in a lot of time and energy into really learning this stuff, right? So you have to understand, guys, right? There are such thing as commodity currencies out there, right? There are such things as commodity currencies out there, right? That might move a little bit differently with correlations based off what I'm saying. Right now, for those of you guys that have been on any of my sessions before, right, on Go Live or any trainings, I've actually spoken about this before. I haven't spoken a lot about it, but I want to ask you guys these questions, right? What are commodity currencies, right? And what pairs or what currencies will be considered a commodity currency? Right now, when we're talking about a commodity currency, we're talking about an economy that relies on a specific commodity that can also influence the currencies. Who knows this, right? This is again this is a crazy question though. Right? This is a question. This is a tough one for those of you guys that haven't really learned about this stuff yet. Let's see. Thank you, Coach. So does that mean when the yen gets positive interest rates, the pair will be bullish? It's possible, right? It's possible for that to occur. And what source do you get the news from? The easiest way to find news is just using forexfactory.com. That's like the most basic way. But I also listen to a lot of news, guys. Like I'm talking about, I really use investing.com a lot as well. But I'm also listening to a lot of analysts, right? Like I go on all these different news outlets, whether it's Fox News Business, CNN Business, Bloomberg TV, right? And I'm really just staying up to date with all that stuff, right? It's very boring, and a lot of people don't want to put in that work, but that's what's necessary. Right? So again, commodity currencies are currencies that are affected or influenced by other commodities. Right? Yeah, we have gold, right? We have silver. Right? We have oil, exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly, right? Those are all commodity currencies, right? Gold, silver, oil. Because certain economies have a lot of it. Right? So gold influences the Australian dollar. Because Australia is rich in gold. They have a lot of gold over there. Right? So typically, if gold is on fire, that can potentially influence the Australian dollar as well. Right? And then we have oil, right? Canada, right, is a big boy in the import-export game in oil. Right? So oil is another commodity that influences the Canadian dollar. Right? So the Canadian dollar would be considered a commodity currency. Okay? So that can also play a big part on how these markets also move. If you ever looked at oil, right, and see how oil moves, you will notice that oil in Canada or the Canadian dollar, they have some type of a correlation, right? It's not as strong as it used to be in the past, right? Because when I first started trading back in 2014, 2015, right, they were extreme. They had a negative correlation, right? So if the Canadian dollar went up, oil will go down, all right? Things like that. Or USD CAD went up, oil will go down, right? Because they have such a strong correlation. Right? So yeah, this is another important thing that you guys can also start researching, right? Is commodity currencies and understanding how they react to certain environments. Okay? That's a big boy. That's the next one. That's the next one. Let's see what else we got here. And what happens with GBP affects the odd. What do you mean by that? What happens if the pound affects the odd? Let's see. I was here but stepped away. Do you go over gold? Yeah, we spoke about gold. I'll bring it back again just because I love gold, right? And we actually have a possible play here for gold coming up. All right, so again, gold did exactly what we wanted it to see yesterday. Like I'm talking about exactly what we talked about yesterday. Gold did exactly. I'm talking about to the T. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. This thing ended up dropping well over 300 pips from that 1906, 1907 level that we spoke about yesterday. Right, absolutely on fire. Now it's just a matter of seeing to look for. I'm still expecting more bearishness personally. Right, I think we're gonna continue to sell off. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, it's all right. It's not a big deal. Right, but I want to see now price come up to this 1890s levels, 1890, 1893, anywhere in between this level up here, to potentially keep us, seeing more bearishness to come in, right? More downside pressure, right? So that's where I'm at for gold, right? I think we're gonna see a pullback, and I'll be looking for more opportunities to sell gold. GBP and odd have a correlation. My fault. Not really a commodity. Yeah, I mean all these do for sure. Yeah, but you're right. They do. Right, now let's go ahead and take a look at USD CAD actually, since we're talking about correlations in oil, and see where we're at with that. Right, and then we could take a look at these indices. And actually, these cryptos are on fire too, right? Cryptocurrencies went absolutely bonkers, right? They went absolutely bonkers lately. All right, so USD CAD. Now keep in mind, guys, right? Tomorrow is going to be a very, very crazy day for this pair. Just because we have the unemployment rates and the non-farm employment change for both of these currencies at the same exact time, right? So there's a possibility for this thing to fly one way or another, or for it to just whipsaw, right? Like whipsaw back and forth and create big wicks on both sides, right? So USD CAD is probably not a pair that I will be interested in trading just because of the news tomorrow. But again, I am bullish, right? I am bullish. I would love to see more bullish pressure. So maybe if price was to come down to around this 1.277 level, right, and if we're able to hold this level, then I might be able to, I might be interested in buying something. But again, I'm just not interested in trading USD CAD. I'm just being honest. I really have no interest whatsoever. It might get crazy tomorrow because of the news. But if I was to make a prediction, I will be looking to possibly expect some bullishness to come into play from that level, right? But again, I'm not going to be trading it. That's just what I would be leaning towards if I was looking for an opportunity here. And I'm just looking at levels of structure. Again, I'm not overcomplicating it. Okay, this was a level where price has acted as both support and resistance in the past. And that's where I would be looking for a bullish reaction from. But I'm not really going to be trading it too much. Right, so let's go straight into these cryptos actually, right? Because I'm interested to see. I haven't even looked at the cryptos today. And I heard that we had a nice little sell-off. And yes, we did. We had a pretty interesting sell-off here for Bitcoin. And I know this is going to be against popular belief, but I see a lot more downside pressure. Right, again, guys, like one thing about me is that I'm actually very, very heavy into cryptocurrencies as well. Right, like heavy into cryptos. Like I'm a big firm believer of these cryptos and the long-term vision of them. But I also understand that every single market has a cycle, and cryptos are no different. Right, cryptos all they move in a very, very similar way, and they operate in a 4-year cycle based off of the halving system that is created on. Right, the Bitcoin halving system has never, and I mean, it repeats itself over and over and over again, right? And I think that we still have a lot more. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I think we still have a lot more downside pressure, guys, for gold coming up. I've actually been predicting. This is just me. I've been predicting gold, or not gold, but Bitcoin to eventually get back down into the 20,000s. Right? I don't know if it's gonna stay in the high 20,000s. I don't know if we're gonna get to the lower 20,000s. Right, but what I do know is that we have this imbalance over here. We have this gap over here that I feel like still might want to get tested. So I think we're going to continue to see more downside pressure for Bitcoin. All right, so even if we reach down to this demand zone down here, that's a possibility. Right, but yeah, I think we still have a lot more downside for these cryptocurrencies as a whole. Right, now keep in mind, guys, right, around this time next year, okay, as a matter of fact, at the beginning of next year, in 2023, you should really start accumulating cryptos now, right? Think long term, especially if you're investing, and understand the difference between investing and day trading, right? When you're investing, it's a play that you're holding for the long term, right? But when you're day trading, that's more of a short term idea, short term play. Okay, investing is long term, trading on margin is more of a short term play. But if you're investing, think long term with these cryptocurrencies. Right, so even buying now is not a bad play, especially when you start dollar cost averaging into these opportunities. Okay, because eventually Bitcoin will reach $100,000 a coin. Eventually, Bitcoin will be $1 million for one Bitcoin. Okay, I mean, obviously right now that's just speculation, but the way it's looking is going to eventually be at that point. Eventually. Right, so I know some of you guys are probably looking at Bitcoin and saying, damn, Abel, 30,000 for a Bitcoin, that's expensive. I promise you, that's not going to be expensive when Bitcoin's at $1 million a coin. Right, 30,000 is very, very cheap compared to when it gets to $1 million a coin. Okay, so understand that. But like I said, I do expect some more bearishness to come in. So where I'm getting at is by this time next year or by the beginning of 2023, if you have not bought any type of crypto, if you don't buy any type of crypto this year, make sure to start buying it by next year, by 2023. Because by 2024, when the next Bitcoin halving occurs, we are going to surpass $100,000 a coin. Okay, we are going to surpass possibly even $300,000 a coin during the next bull run. All right, let's keep that in mind. right? You have to think long term with this, family. Is this making sense? Let me know, right? Because these cryptos are not going anywhere, right? These cryptos are changing the game. All right, so again, this is not financial advice. I know it sounds like it, but I'm just giving you guys my opinion on what most people should do. By 2023, you need to start accumulating crypto as much as possible. Even if it's $20 a week, $50 a week, do as much as you can, but start accumulating it as soon as you possibly can. Okay, altcoins are absolutely going to fly. Everything is going to fly when the next halving occurs. Everything. Okay, you guys are you guys are aware of it. You guys have awareness. Right now, just make sure to start doing it. Right, and think long term. Right, I promise you, if you start buying cryptos by 2023, and you hold it all the way to say the end of 2024. You're going to be extremely thankful that you did and grateful that you did. Right? Let me say that one more time, family. Right? If you start to accumulate cryptos in 2023 and you hold it all the way and just continue buying as much as you can all the way until the end of 2024, you're going to be in a so much better. You might end up being up multiple six figures. Depending on how much you're investing, you can easily become a millionaire during the next bull run. I'm going to be I'm not going to say quadrillionaire, right? I was going to go crazy. But I'm definitely going to be a multi-millionaire off of cryptos by the end of 2024. Guaranteed. Like, I want some of y'all to remember this conversation we're having right now. Right? And when 2024 comes and I'm over here talking about me being up multiple 8-9 figures, don't be surprised about it. Don't be surprised because it's going to happen. All right. But very interesting, guys. Same thing for Ethereum. I think we also have a lot more bearishness for Ethereum, a lot more downside pressure. Right. If you ask me which one should you buy, Bitcoin or Ethereum, I'm more so leaning towards, obviously, Bitcoin is the granddaddy of all coins. But I'm a big fan of Ethereum, right? I really like Ethereum. I have a fat wallet of Ethereum already. I have a good wallet in Bitcoin as well, but I have a fat wallet in Ethereum. I have a fat wallet of Polkadot. A lot of these major altcoins, right? These blockchain altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, Binance Coin, like all these major ones. Like I'm loading the hell up with those. Right, but I see some more downside pressure as well, guys, for Ethereum. I would not be surprised if Ethereum eventually reaches below $2,000 a coin. I would not be surprised by that. I would not be surprised whatsoever. Okay, let's see. ETH with the update is still a problem. It is, but the thing is, like, and this is something that nobody could take away from Ethereum. Even though the gas fees is a major issue, even with 2.0 coming out, they're still experiencing a lot of hiccups. It's still the number one blockchain in the world, right? It's still the number one blockchain that has most of these other altcoins are literally developed on top of Ethereum's blockchain, right? So Ethereum is still a big deal, even with all these issues, right? So imagine when all these issues and all these gas fees and they actually go to I believe they're going to a proof of stake concept, right? It's gonna fly. Like, I would not be surprised, guys, by the end of 2024 Ethereum's 15,000 a coin, 20,000 a coin, 25,000 a coin, right? I would not be surprised whatsoever. Right, it's still the most commonly used blockchain out there, right? It has the most projects, right? The most dApps built on top of it, right? So right now is really the best time, while they're still working on things, it's really the best time to really get involved, right? You trade EU? Yeah, I trade EU for sure. EU is one of my favorite pairs to trade, right? Solana, yeah, Solana's definitely a good one, right? Solana's another one that really changes the game, right? Solana's another one that has thousands of apps already built on top of it, right? So even Solana's a big boy, right? A really good project to look into, right? One of my favorites is Polkadot. Excuse me, right? Polkadot's really one of my favorites. It still has a lot of work to do as well, right? But Polkadot is really another blockchain that I feel like is going to really change the game, right? But again, it's best to get them now before they actually start fully functioning and they have everything up and running, right? Like with these cryptos, guys, we're literally pretty much like we're so early to the game is crazy, right? Like I truly believe, 80% of the world still has never even, been in contact with Bitcoin or even heard about Bitcoin or blockchain or cryptocurrencies or NFTs or any of that, right? So we're still extremely early. That's why it's important to get in now, right? I have this quote that I say all the time to everybody, right? Our parents, right? Your parents missed out on the gold rush. Do not miss out on the crypto rush that we're experiencing now, right? Like the way I look at cryptos, though, that's my retirement plan, right? I don't buy these cryptos for me to enjoy. I'm buying these cryptos for my kids to enjoy, right? So that I create generational wealth through these cryptocurrencies for my kids to be able to be straight off of. I'm not thinking about myself with these cryptos. That's how you really gotta look at it, family. Don't look at it for you, right? Look at it for your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, for them to be positioned in a way that we never, at least for me, I never had that position, right? Because I don't come from a wealthy family whatsoever. But I promise you, a wealthy family is gonna come from me, right? If you don't come from a wealthy family, that's fine. It is what it is. But let's make sure that a wealthy family comes from you, right? And you can do that through these cryptocurrencies. All right, so let's look at Euro USD real quick. Euro USD, again, very similar. We had an initial spike up because of interest rates, and then we immediately came down and just erased that whole thing. So similar concept, guys. I'm expecting a lot more bearishness to really come in, with Euro USD. And looking for some selling opportunities off of these areas is not a bad bet, right? Even off of either this 1.055 level, or if price wanted to come up even higher and say test this 1.058 level, that's another opportunity to really go ahead and sell from, right? So if you take the sell off of here and it doesn't work out, it is what it is. Take it from up here, right? Two different areas that we could look at. I'm liking this one because we also have the confluence with the 50 period moving average here on the 1 hour, right? So if we're able to bounce off of this level and then see some bearishness, then that would be pretty cool. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking at for EU, right? Either a trade off of 1.055 or a trade off of 1.058. Okay. I see I caught that big drop today. Let's get it. Shout out to you. That's amazing. Right, but family, again, another phenomenal stream, right? I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up with this EU right here. All right, we have a lot of phenomenal setups setting up. It's just a matter of being patient. Keep in mind, we do have major news on the horizon tomorrow, right? It is going to be fireworks. I am going to plan on waking up tomorrow morning. If I do not wake up for whatever reason, do not be mad at me, right? But I am planning on waking up so that we could try to see, trade that release live together, right? And see what happens from that release and see if there's any opportunities that we can get, right? But family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with your boy once again. Like I said, I actually get excitement. Like I actually get excited to actually do these streams because I know y'all gonna come on here, ask great questions, and just engage with me and really help me overall just continue to get better as an educator. All right, and that's something I appreciate y'all for, right? So I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. I'm gonna be back on. If I'm not on tomorrow for some reason, I will be dropping a video tomorrow, right? A banger going over a simple strategy, right? I created another video on a simple strategy that's actually doing pretty good. So I'm going to create another video tomorrow on another simple strategy that you guys can utilize. And then I'll catch you guys on Sunday as well with my weekly outlook, right? My live weekly outlook at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. It's pretty much setting up the market, setting up our charts for the week up and coming. So family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And I will see you guys all a little bit later. Let's get it. I appreciate y'all. Talk to you guys soon.